Today you are joining me in my dining room, technically, come family room, come home ed room, school room, a bit of everything. So on my personal Instagram, which is the Whimsical Cloud, and sometimes on my Mrs. Brimble's Instagram, I post about, always on my Whimsical Cloud, I post different things that the children and I do, particularly creatively, and I post about invitations to create sometimes. And just recently I've had a few sort of questions about those. So I thought, do you know what, I would do a whole video just literally on invitations to create. Now, I don't know where kind of like the term officially comes from. I have a feeling it's in possibly in a Charlotte Mason or a Montessori roots, I think, but I don't 100% know. So basically, when Miss B stopped going to preschool and we made the decision to home educate, I remember following, like, being like, how am I going to do this? And seeking out various different places online, particularly Instagram, EYFS, which is early years foundation stages, ideas basically. I suddenly had this child at home with me all the time. What am I going to do? So I literally went out looking for. Hello, Rabbit. Thanks for showing my messy kitchen. Are you coming in so I can shut the door again? Yeah. Go on then. No, you're going back out. Right, so that's my messy kitchen, guys, which I closed the door to hide. Are you coming in or what? She's just... She's just down there. Yeah, anyway, there you go. So, real life here, okay? So following those accounts, I came across this concept of inviting children to create, or setting up like, what's the word, like a workstation or a play area of something that they might enjoy doing. Right, you're in. Mess hidden. I'm going to tackle the mess later. She gets paranoid about doors being shut. I think it's because one of the girls shut her in. They closed the door, we didn't know she was in a room, and she got a bit, there she goes. And she got a bit panicked about being shut in, so she's a bit funny about the doors being closed, bless her. Here she comes back again. She's totally interrupted my video, totally like photobombed me. So so the concept behind it is that you are inviting the child to do an activity, but you're not enforcing it, and that you're not helicoptering, so you're not standing above them and being like, you must do this, you must do this. You're giving them the freedom and the space to be able to make their own decisions, to express themselves freely, and all that good stuff. And there's quite a few, I've seen quite a few like memes going around about age appropriate art, and this kind of ties in with it, and I will share a couple of those memes with you. Okay, just to say that I couldn't find the one that I was looking for, a really good one about a penguin. So you just have to take my word for it. Sorry. The age, that given the same materials, different ages will look at creating different things as to where they are at in their development, and where they're at in their development is different for each child, obviously. Even if they are at a certain age where in theory they should be able to draw faces, or they should be able to draw bodies, that kind of thing, doesn't necessarily mean that that specific child is at that stage yet, because every child develops at their own time. So yeah, I stumbled across this Invitations to Create idea, and I thought it was a good idea. I wanted to do more art and craft with my daughter, but without being, now darling, now we're going to create this. And I did make that mistake, and I still have a picture on my wall over there, which I might show you a bit, our little gallery. At first I didn't necessarily understand, and I thought I was helping, but you know, we learn and we grow as individuals, don't we? So I was like, we're going to do cows today, and I did one to show her how it looked like, and then I was like, no, you put the nose here and you put the eyes here, and it was very much a parent and an adult-led art session, and the more I kind of like went down this inquisitive journey of exploring child development and how it was all gonna work for us in a home ed setting, the more I realised that what I did was wrong. I was putting my ideas and influence onto her. So I've kept that up there as like a little reminder to myself that we don't do it like this anymore. We do it like this. So yeah, I set out an invitation to create. Now, there is quite a lot still of, I'm being nudged under the table. Are you playing nudgy me? There is quite a lot of adult prompting. I have children of two different ages. I have a preschooler and I have a junior school age. But they do both create together. The invitation to create is for both of them. And so I will set it up. I also have children, I also have SEND children. And what you're looking at behind isn't the most tidiest, but this is basically our art and craft shelves. And most of our things are in little boxes. These came from IKEA. They get them in like a set of 3, and they are fantastic because they are translucent. Like the white ones are the best because they're very translucent. So you can see exactly what's inside them. The coloured ones, less so, although you can sort of see through. I wish they sold. They come in packs of 3, and I wish they sold 3 of the white ones. I mean, they may do now because I've literally had these for like 5 years. But I think they sell them in pink, white, and yellow, and then blue, green, and white. But yeah, if they sell them now and they can get the white ones, these are great because everyone can see exactly what's inside. And we have all of our craft stuff kind of like micro-organised. You can see there we've got a plastic jar full of pom-poms. I've got another jar of googly eyes. This is our beads. I've got a jar of buttons, one of these are buttons, one of these are pipe cleaners, one of these are ribbons, one of these are die cuts, that kind of thing. And children's crafts, like I very rarely buy children's any craft supplies. I've been super lucky because we've been given some as gifts. I used to go to a lot of planner events, and there used to be swaps tables, and there was always children's craft supplies in on the swaps tables, or things that I picked up for my children to use. Charity shops are another really good source of finding like craft supplies. You know, if you want sort of like pictures to cut out, go to a charity shop, choose a children's book, and either get your children to cut out the pictures or you cut out the pictures and then put them in a box, and you've got some ready-made like die cut pictures to use. So like charity shops and jumble sales, that kind of thing. If I buy art supplies, I usually buy them from Baker Ross, and Baker Ross also have a clearance section on their website, so I usually hit that, to be honest, and I tend to kind of like buy in advance, like now, for example, they have like Christmas stuff that's reduced, so I'll often like buy the Christmas stuff and put it away. But yeah, I haven't. When Hobbycraft, Hobbycraft used to do, I don't know if they still do because I haven't been for ages, they used to do like near the tills, they used to do like grab bags of like beads and buttons that are really cheap. Like little bags of like random, like totally random, and so I got some of those. And they just sort of seem to last, because I mean we use them, but not like all of them all the time, if you know what I mean. And yeah, we get some for gifts. So what I do is I sort them out, because as you can see, our craft shelves are not the tidiest. And it can be overwhelming. So if it's like, and my children do love to create, and they ask to paint and draw and etc. Every single day, and to suddenly look at those shelves can be like, whoa, that is overwhelming. Like, even I would be like, I don't know where to start. Where to start. So I like the concept of an invitation to create, because a lot of the confusion and overwhelm is kind of taken away for them. So what I do is I have a little compartment box like this, and say we recently did a Valentine's one. So what I will do is I will take all of these boxes down, and I'll do it one evening, and I find it super relaxing. So say a Valentine's one, I will go through this and I will pick out everything we've got that I think is Valentine's themed. So that would be pink, red, white, lilac. Doesn't have to be hearts, it could be anything on like that colour scheme, and I will fill one of these with entirely of beads, entirely pink, red, white, lilac beads. This one will be bows, this one would be buttons, this one would be pom-poms, this one would be googly eyes, etc. So all little fiddly bits and pieces go in this box. I bought this from Amazon years ago, and it came with a glass front that you slide on and off, which was quite useful to slide it in, because then we could just put the lid on and we could use it again and it wouldn't all fall out. We could use it again and another day. But the lid got broken. It was glass. It got broken. Obviously, if you've got small children, you may want to keep the glass out of their reach. But yes, we use that. And then I have another wooden tray. This is a Melissa and Doug. I love the Melissa and Doug stuff. They all come in wooden trays, and they do get repurposed. So all the fiddly bits go in there, and then I set out another tray, and in that tray I'll put like ribbon, pipe cleaners, bits of wool or string, maybe pots of glitter. Maybe I'll pick out a couple of pots of paint on theme. Maybe I'll put some die cuts in there, and I literally just put the two together on the table like that, and I'll be like, there you go guys, you can do what you like. And they know now, they'll always have access to paper and card, access to glue, both like glue stick, Pritt Stick, and runny wet glue, PVA glue, and the paintbrushes, the scissors, the pens, the paint. They've got access to all of that as well, which they do now know. But if you are just sort of starting this journey, you could perhaps choose a couple of things to put out. You could perhaps get a plate and just put some paint on the plate, or some glue on a paint and get a glue spreader out and that kind of thing. But basically, you just leave it on the table, and then they are free to do whatever they want. They can use their own creative process, their own imagination to create what they want to. And yeah, so from the Valentine's themed one, they both did a picture each. That was their kind of default. They did a picture, and then they went on to do a Valentine's card. And the reason they went on to do Valentine's card is because I was sat at the table with them, and I very often art and craft at the exact same time as my children do, because I loved art and craft, and hey, I'm supervising anyway to make sure, like, you know, glue doesn't go up the nose or something. So I did it as well, and I sat there and I made a Valentine's card, and they were like, oh, okay. So they took that from me. I didn't give that to them, if you see what I mean. They saw me, so their default was, we're going to make a picture, and then they went on to make their Valentine's card. And I'll just show you what they made, and I want to show you the difference in ages. So I've said I've got a preschooler and a junior school. I think you call it junior school. I don't know, it's been so long since I knew the school system. So this is my preschoolers. That is what she created. A button just fell off. Sometimes I do have to step in a bit and remind my preschooler that we need to use glue in order for these things to stick. Because she will often put things on the paper. You know, she gets kind of like caught up in the creative process, I guess, and forgets to put glue down. And so I very often have to say, remember to put glue down, darling, remember to put glue down, it won't stick. But I only do that because I don't want her to be disappointed. I don't want her to be disappointed when, at the end of the day, none of it has stuck. Do you know what I mean? So I feel like that is correct me if you think I'm wrong, but I feel like that is a positive thing to do, just to be like, you know, you do need to put some glue down, otherwise you'll lose it. So that is the preschooler art. Very random. Age appropriate. This is my junior school artist. So as you can see, she's then made characters. So this heart's got a face on, and it's got a bow in its hair. This is the family portrait, apparently. Although, so this is me with a bow in my hair. This apparently is my daughter. This apparently is John. This apparently is Florence. I don't know whether I should be concerned that her younger sister is not in the picture. I don't know. But yeah, so that is the difference. So like, she is a bit older, so she's now starting to think about other things, like her relation to the rest of the world, starting to think about character design, and starting to think about all other types of things. Like, obviously she's been influenced by gender. I try very much in our life, I try and encourage the use of pronouns them and they where I can, with people that we don't know, and things like that. But equally, I think the she and him sort of aspect is in a lot of like TV programs and things. So this is something that she has picked up, putting a bow on the head to indicate a girl. This is something that she's kind of come up with herself. So there we go. And then, so the other day, we ended up making bunting. We're going to have a Valentine's themed tea party, and I said to my eldest, shall we make some decorations to have for our party? And she said, let's make some bunting. So I helped her cut out the triangles, because she's not quite there yet with everything, obviously. And then she did her sorry, I'm covering up my mouth, sorry. So she did her drawing. So yeah, the invitation to create is just, I really enjoy myself rummaging through all those boxes and finding the beads and everything in the real colour. I get enjoyment out of that. The children get enjoyment out of it. They actually really enjoy coming down in the morning and seeing that I've put something out like that. In our day, there's so many different philosophies about home ed or homeschool or unschooling and all this kind of stuff. But in our household, what works best for us is about 50-50, maybe a bit more, I'm not really sure, of structured activity time, whether that is art and craft, whether that's science, whether that's going outside, whatever it is. half of our day needs to be structured in order to keep both my children regulated and for everything to go smoothly. My children, and I do know a lot of people that I follow on Instagram and things who do have children who are also on the spectrum or have send children, that they are the same, that unstructured or free time, free play doesn't always work for my children and our family. So I try and we try and have as much as possible, but as I said, it doesn't always work, so they do need to have at least half of the day that's got like semi-structured activities. And by that I mean, I don't necessarily mean that I'm like, now children, we're going to paint a picture of a flower, here's the middle, here's the stem. I don't mean that. What I mean is I will put out an invitation to create. That's what I mean by structure or a parent-led activity. It's giving them. So if I said, what do you want to do today? There would probably be blank expressions. Sometimes they will say, I want to paint today, or I want to do this today, and we do always discuss that. But a lot of the time, it's a bit like, I don't know, but just giving that little bit of a nudge, they're like, oh yeah, I'll go off and I'll do this and stuff. So it kind of it opens the portal, if you know what I mean. And they both love art and craft, which is great because I do too. So it's an activity of mutual benefit for the three of us. And it is something that they will both do for a long time as well. They will both sit and enjoy it. Can't remember what the other questions were. It was basically, there was just an intrigue, I think most of the questions were about what is it, why you do it, how it works, kind of thing. I think the thing that, because I also shared like the carnage of the table. And I know a lot of people get a bit antsy about mess. I know when I've shared pictures of my children playing with Play-Doh and they've got different coloured pots, and then by the end of it there is one lump of Play-Doh. I know a lot of people are like, oh God, I can't do it. And it's like, we need to step back as an adult. Like, you know, don't get me wrong, I sit there and I'm like, the mess. But equally, we do it in here. I have a, I don't know what they call it, a plastic tablecloth, which is skanky. It was once a beautiful green polka dot colour. It is now a bit faded because it has been scrubbed and cleaned so many times. It's got paint on it, it's got bits of hot glue gun on it. It's just, you know, I clean it every day because we also eat our meals on here. So I do clean it after each activity, and I certainly clean it before we eat our food. But, you know, I am not precious about this tablecloth. I'm not precious about it. The carpet has seen better days. In an ideal world, we would change it for like a wood floor or laminate or tiles or something like that. Also, because it opens into the garden, our patio door, and in the summer we have that open and we're like in and out and everything. So in an ideal world, it would be great because we use it to eat and it's onto the garden. So like a hard something floor would be great. But this carpet has not been changed. We inherited this carpet when we moved into the house, and it was already on the way out. And do you know what? We were like, oh, let's just keep it. Let's just keep it and until it dies, basically. Because also we've got pets. We've got fluffy bunnies. So yeah, we were like, let's just keep this carpet until it dies. So we're not massively precious about the carpet, but I just make sure that I pick everything up as soon as we're done. You know, I pick everything up because obviously we have Florence, like, who's now sitting right by me having a little snooze. Obviously we have Florence, so I make sure everything's like picked up off the floor. But if you are worried about your surfaces and things, I would suggest you invest in a plastic tablecloth. Maybe like a decorating sheet or something that you can kind of put on the floor, or have you got an area like perhaps do it in your kitchen where you've got like a I don't know, laminate or lino or whatever floor you've got in your kitchen, so it's easily wiped clean. And just try not to think about the mess. I know for a lot of people that is really hard to do. Just try and, as long as they're not like getting the paint and like flicking it, you know, so it ends up all up the walls or anything. Just try and let it go. Be more Elsa. Let it go. And just try and let them enjoy the creative process, because when we step in and we're like, oh, it kind of like, it stops their creative juices flowing, but also it's kind of like, oh, am I not doing it right? You know, this, that and the other. And also try and step back from, you know, if you're doing a particular picture and you're like, oh, I don't think that looks very nice, or I don't think I'd put that there, or have you tried like doing this? Just bite your tongue, because it's not your art. It's not your art. You know, you are not the artist. And if you think of all these famous artists that you may not consider as art, or you may be like, whoa, that's off the wall, I don't like that particular piece of art. You can imagine if you'd have said that, they would never be creating that art for all those other people. So like, you know, you may not appreciate this as a piece of art, but you never know in the future, like this may be where it's at. Do you know what I mean? Things like, I'm just thinking of things like, what can we think of? Salvador Dali, for example. How off the wall is Salvador Dali's artwork? Do you know what I mean? And if someone had said to him, you can't put the nose over there and the mouth over there and the eyes back over there, that's wrong, that's not what a face looks like. He would never have gone on to produce the art that he does, and people would not be out there studying the work of Salvador Dali, you know? So, yeah, that's kind of my thing. Obviously, I am not a teacher. I am not trained in, I nearly was a teacher. I nearly did my PGCE to become a teacher. I did some work experience at a school as a teacher, and I nearly became a teacher. The reason I didn't is because I didn't like the idea of all the paperwork. I liked the idea of teaching children and doing the actual teaching job, but I didn't like the idea of all the other stuff that kind of came with the job. I just wanted to do that. So anyway, I didn't. So I'm not actually trained as a teacher, so don't take my advice as the only thing. As with everything, read around the subject, do your research, follow a wide variety of sources, and then make your own opinion. But my opinion is, let children be children, let children create, let them be the artists, let them be empowered. Let them be empowered to create what they want to create and what's in here. I don't think there's anything wrong. We do artist study at home. We will look at a particular artist and then try to recreate their work. I do some instruction, some teaching on things like perspective, light and shadow, and how to draw certain things. But that is in balance. I do that with my eldest daughter, but that is in balance. So that is, we have free invitations to create, we have free reign, do what you like, and we also do, let's study this, let's look at how to draw this, that kind of thing, purely just to kind of broaden her knowledge and her techniques and all that kind of stuff. And for those of you that don't know, my eldest daughter also has an Etsy shop. She sells her art. So she hasn't put anything new up for a while, but basically she's very much into abstract and splatter type art. And she sells her originals, but so she also, and she enjoys it, by the way. I'm just going to say she's enjoyed it. It's not slave labour. She enjoys it, and it's quite a good like home ed project for her as well, because we talk about pricing, and she will like go and buy her supplies and things like that, and I help her. We turn it into stickers and postcards and things, and so it's kind of like a good like she learns about business and commerce, and then the money that she earns, half of it she puts into savings for when she's older, and the other half she tends to, like, she has as her pocket money. Sorry, I'd say half. No, my maths is wrong there. So I'm not going to use actual numbers. So some of it she has to pay me back, or Mrs. Brimble's back, because we pay for like the sticker paper and the postage, that kind of thing. So she has to pay us back. Excuse me. And then she gets savings, and then she gets pocket money. And her pocket money, she will very often put back into buying more art and craft supplies. Yeah, so I'll say bye-bye now. Actually no, wait, I'll show you just another couple of pieces of art, and also just to say that I do share stuff on my Instagram account that is my daughter's artwork, but I always get permission, I always get their consent. I'm not fully, like, I never use their, like, real names. I never share their photos of their faces, for that's for their security. But I never use their real names, so that if when they're older, they've had a change of heart, like they don't want me sharing this, and they've become become a barrister, I don't know. It's not connected to them in any way, so then don't feel embarrassed. But I do always ask their permission, and sometimes my daughter's like, yeah, I'm really proud of this piece, which she is, and I think it's awesome. Yeah, please share it, mummy. Or she'll just say, no, can you just share it with Nonna, or whatever. And I always respect that. I never share anything that that she doesn't want me to, but she is super proud of all her artwork and all the stuff that she creates. So she's always happy with me to share. But yeah, let me show you some more examples. Okay, so these two happen to be quite close together, which is quite good. This is another example of just like a free creative. So this one at the bottom is the preschooler. So that is just a ton of sequins, strategically placed, I'm sure, on a piece of paper. And this is my eldest. So as you can see, she's still got her gems and her sparkly things, because who doesn't love gems and sparkly things? But like, apparently this is me and her. Because she's got curly hair too. So this is like, you know, character development starting to come out. So let's swizzle over. So we've got here some more of my eldest here. So she's starting to draw flowers. My youngest, here we go. I flipping love this though. I think this is very spacey. I love it for the abstractness. And a contrast, that's my eldest, so that's me and her again. So you can see like character starting to come out. My youngest again. So that's one of my daughter's top feet. So yeah, it's one of my eldest. As you can see, it's a fish. And this is my youngest. What I will say is when you put like paint on a plate with a young child, they will often create mud. And this is what I was talking about. So this is quite old. This was created when my eldest daughter should have been at preschool, and she wasn't. So as you can see, that's my current preschooler's art, and this is my current preschooler's art, and this is my current preschooler's art. When my eldest was at preschool, this is what I was kind of expecting her to create. So you can see, and that there is my current preschooler's art. So is that. I need to tidy up this bit actually. So yeah, you can massively see the difference there. So there, I'm hand holding again because I can't be bothered to put back on the tripod just to say goodbye. So I hope that kind of makes sense. I hope that has kind of fulfilled that interest that you had in invitations to create, and I've answered the questions. If you've got any more questions, then let me know, I guess, and I'll try and answer them. I'll pop a link if you're interested to my daughter's shop and her Instagram account below, so you can go and see the art that she creates. If you're interested in more art for your children, then I do a monthly children's arts class on Patreon. I'm not sure what it is because it's in dollars on Patreon. I think it works out to be £3. Possibly, I don't know. What's that rabbit eating? I need to go and get that. Bit of paper on the floor. £3 a month. I do a Patreon children's art class, so you might be interested in that. Yeah, and if you want more children's art stuff and all that, then follow me on my Whimsical Cloud Instagram account. So I'm gonna go now. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.